when you are paid the sums they are today, and you don't have to work. I mean, there's other players who sit back and say, well, if they don't pick me, I don't care because I'm getting the money. That was never, ever the attitude here. Everybody wanted to play here. When back then, money is the devil in one way and fantastic the other. It's fantastic to see them all getting good money, but when it takes over and that is the first choice, then things become difficult. I would think that we were still hungry then, still wanted to win, because we needed the money, to pay the mortgage and do things. These guys today don't, and I think that is the wee bit that they've lost.
Do you miss it? Do you wish that you could be running out the tunnel there tonight and participate?
Oh yeah, I do. Well, the body's not capable, the mind is, but it would be fantastic if we could, but we've done our share, we've did our bit, and we look today, and I'm fantastically happy to see today that the manager has re-signed for another year, and I think he's done fantastically well here, and hopefully in the next couple of years they'll do well in the European Cup again.
Listen, Willie, thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us. Enjoy the rest of your evening, you really do deserve tonight. Thank you. Thanks to Willie Wallace, and let's hand back to Tony up there in the studio with Tosh McKinley.
Thanks very much indeed, Margot. Willie Wallace, of course, from the Gold Coast in Australia to the west coast of Scotland in January. He'll really be appreciating the weather, Tosh.
Yeah, he really appreciate Glasgow in a night like this, but certainly his heart will be warmed by the reception he gets from the crowd. It's great to see Willie Wallace back, the only player that Big Jock brought into the Lisbon Lion team, and what a fantastic player he was in that run to win us the European Cup.
Let's, if we can, bring Margot McQuaig back in. Margot, we are delayed in kickoff. Kickoff's another 10 minutes away. What's the atmosphere like trackside?
Fantastic, particularly because the Lisbon Lions are coming down here, Tony, and joining us to do these interviews, and it's causing a great stir around us. The fans are obviously extremely excited that they're getting within touch and distance of the team, as I mentioned, who are the greatest ever Celtic team. So the atmosphere is building up. A lot of happy faces out there, and I think there's going to be a lot of happy faces inside as well, because obviously the Lions themselves will be absolutely delighted that the crowds are turning up in their droves. There was concerns obviously a little bit earlier on that maybe they wouldn't get the crowd that they deserve, but that seems to have been eradicated, and they're flooding in the gates, so good news all round down here, Tony.
Not just happy, Margot, about the Lisbon Lions, but obviously joy around Celtic Park tonight that Martin O'Neill has signed an extension to his contract.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know how delighted I am, and I think that's been emanated throughout the whole stadium. Everybody is absolutely thrilled to bits, because obviously it's a crucial stage for us in our season, Tony. We've got 4 competitions that we're competing for, and everybody wants success. We've won the league 2 seasons in a row. We want to make that 3. We want to go as far as we can in Europe, and Martin O'Neill's been the man at the helm who's brought us the taste of that success so far. So obviously he's the man that we know can help us to continue with that. So the news that he signed that extension has made everybody absolutely ecstatically happy. So obviously the Lions are happy and the supporters are happy, and we're all looking forward to a fantastic night of football as well against UEFA champions.
Margot, thank you very much indeed, and we look forward to hearing some more from you at half-time, and hopefully some reaction from the Celtic first team. It's the Lisbon Lions benefit match. It's late in kicking off, thanks to a huge Celtic crowd here at Celtic Park, and it's Celtic versus Feyenoord on Celtic TV. Kick-off 8 o'clock Celtic Park time. Let's bring Tosh back in. We heard from Willie Wallace there. He was talking about money, and he said it's a devil sometimes, but it's money, hopefully, that these guys are going to get tonight, that they were long overdue.
Yeah, I think money in the game, you're a great player, you're not a great player, it's certainly not money that drives you on, it's ambition and enthusiasm to play football. But certainly at that time they weren't rewarded, but hopefully tonight they can get a few quid for themselves, and I think it's the people recognising what they've done for the club that will warm their hearts. It will not be the money.
15 of the 16 playing squad with us. Bobby Murdoch sadly not with us. You've been that year or two older than me, Tosh. Might just remember seeing Bobby Murdoch playing. What kind of player was he?
Yeah, Murdoch was a fantastic player, and he used to, as did all the lines, take time out. When I signed here, Bobby was always around about the park, always wanting to give you wee hints here and there. The wee guy that were standing with a minute ago, fantastic as well. And as I say, that was installed in me that they were the best team, and no other Celtic team would ever better them. Then I was lucky enough to come here and try and play some of the football that they did, and I was lucky enough to play under Tommy Burns, who played good football. But certainly my recollection of all the players was just the ability to go out and steamroll any team that they come up against. They had the confidence to beat.
We'll never see the likes again. We've established that. We'll certainly never win the European Cup with 11 guys from a 30-mile radius of Glasgow. But are Celtic capable? Perhaps not the European Cup in the next 3, 4, 5 years, but are they capable of making an impression? And Martin O'Neill won't thank me for this, but are they capable of making an impression in the UEFA Cup this year?
Well, certainly. I think if you look at our record in the Champions League last year, it wasn't too far away from getting into the next phase. That would have been a terrific bonus for everybody. But certainly this year, we've went to places like Blackburn. We turned them over. We went to Vigo, another difficult trip. We're now going to go to Stuttgart. If we get past them, then it's a possible Battle of Britain against Liverpool, who I think we're capable of beating as well. So I always think that anybody that's actually won the European Cup as a player has got something about them, and can win a European trophy. But certainly money that Willie Wallace was talking about, that will determine obviously the bigger clubs in Europe now. Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they can shell out millions and millions of pounds on the top quality players. So it'd be very unlikely if we win the Champions League, but certainly we're more than capable of winning the UEFA Cup.
Okay, thanks, Tosh. I'm just wondering if we perhaps can bring Archie back in. Archie, we've spoke about money, which is one of the reasons that we're here tonight, is to earn some money for these guys who earned, next to nothing. And if you look back on it, it's really, really unfair.
It is. I know that Tosh is in the agency business, and if Tosh had been able to be an agent for them, they would have made much more money. But getting back to something which I think is equally important, Tony, about this club and whether they can do well or not do well. What Steen gave this club was outright conviction, utter conviction that they could go to the highest level. And he transmitted that to his players. Self-belief became very important at Parkhead. Remember, when he came, Celtic were a bit of a joke. They were almost getting there and then failing against Rangers, who at that time were all conquering. He didn't have the jumble sale of players that people thought he would after his first season. He retained most, certainly the kernel of the side, added one or two, and transformed this club. I mean, made it great. I'm not saying he did it single-handedly, but by Jove, about 90% of that transformation you could lay at Steen's doorstep. And he did it because he imposed absolute conviction. Now, you talk about Martin O'Neill and what he can do with his club. Every manager I've known who's worth anything at all is absolutely, in a sense,
Huge part in Celtic's success. Twice a Celt for 12 years. Bertie Auld.
Thanks, Tony. Bertie, you love this club so much that you didn't just sign for us once, you signed for us twice, and what a fantastic career move that was.
Well, the only thing that disappointed me, they didn't ask me a third time. But as you know, this is a club that's either part of you or not. It doesn't matter when you leave, you're always got this ambition to come back. I came back and it cost me £5 a week. In those days, that was a lot of money, Margot. But I came back and it cost me £5 a week. My wife thought there was something wrong with my head, but she didn't really know anything about football or about the passion of this club. And it was just a matter of time for it to get success, and I knew that, and I wanted to be part of it.
Tell us about that night in Lisbon, Bertie, because we watched a rerun of the game a little bit earlier on, and just superb. You just can't describe how brilliant it was.
Oh, and see, every time I see it, I'm always a wee bit worried in case they do break into our half of the park and score. But if that was true, we'd have went up and scored again. It was one of these occasions that you never forget about. Jock's team talk was go out and enjoy yourself. And I think looking at any video you see, or any film you see, or any picture you see, that's exactly what we did. We had so much fun that day because we believed in ourselves. We knew we were good. Don't think I'm big-headed, but it's just simple that everybody in the club, right throughout the whole club at that time, realised we had 4 or 5 in the bench that could have graced any team and graced that park on that particular day and been every bit as successful. We were a good club, a good team, and we knew it.
Bertie, I know from working with you just how much Celtic means to you and how much the supporters mean to you. So seeing them here tonight, turning out in your honour, that must make you feel very, very special.
Well, let me say this to you, that I was desperate for tonight to come along because it gave me a chance to applaud people that applauded me all the years ago, Margot. And every time I see whether it's in Argyle Street, Sucky Hall Street, or up the stair in our studio, if someone asks me a question about Celtic, I can only speak highly about them. But the most important thing is, this crowd, this support, are the most knowledgeable support in the world.
And I thought for wee Bobby Murdoch tonight, Bert.
That's a sober. Yeah. Every night you think about Bobby. At some time during the 24 hours you think about Murdy because he was something special. I hope tonight he's up there just and knowing him, he'll be enjoying every minute as much as we are.
Right, Bertie, listen, enjoy yourself tonight, enjoy the game and enjoy all the honour that's going to be bestowed on you. It's a whole lot of you deserve it.
Thank
well
you very
done.
much.
Thanks, Bertie. Thanks very much to Bertie Auld and back up to Tony Hamilton in the studio.
We were expecting somewhere between 20 and 22,000. I reckon by having a quick look round, we've already exceeded that figure. And the police say because there's still people queuing to buy tickets and queuing to pay in at the turnstiles, then they will delay. 8:15 I'm now hearing that kick-off will be. So we've got another 15 minutes. So perhaps, Margot, if you're still...
Going to be added to their benefit fund, so great news. I'm really, really pleased.
We just saw Magnus Hedman run past you there, Margot.
Did he run?
Well, he was sort of hobbling past you. He's injured. David Marshall gets his chance tonight. Tosh and I spoke about that a bit earlier. What's the state of play with Magnus Hedman? Because we've got this game against St Mirren here at Celtic Park on Saturday in the Tennis Scottish Cup. Jonathan Gould is with wee Craigie Brown, as he's affectionately known, in some quarters. Certainly not in this one, but because the transfer window closes again in a couple of weeks.
Well, it's not a couple of weeks, Tony. It's actually in 9 days' time, so there's not much time to get things up and running. But certainly the groundwork, I think, should have been done in terms of who Celtic want to bring in. I think it's just a matter of the board rubber stamping that, giving Martin O'Neill a few quid and getting another couple of quality players in Celtic Park.
OK, it's now 11 minutes past 8 Celtic Park time. We are 26 minutes late in kicking off this Lisbon Lions benefit match. If you've just joined us, you haven't missed any of the action because, as I say, we're late in kicking off, and the reason we're late is that there is a huge crowd waiting to get into Celtic Park, and the match commander, the police match commander here at Celtic Park, wants to see the majority of that crowd inside the ground and settled before he allows the game to get underway. The match referee tonight is Brian Cassidy. We know he's very keen to get the match underway. We spoke to him a bit earlier, and the Celtic players, and I suppose Archie as well, the Feyenoord players will be raring to go. They've already been out for a warm-up. They were brought back in thinking that it was time to make this guard of honour. They were out again for a second warm-up, and now they'll be back in the dressing rooms waiting, and I would imagine, Archie, this is a very frustrating time for them.
Well, it is. Any professional player has done his warm-up, both physically and...
OK, let's now go live into the stadium. Thanks to Archie and Tosh. We're going to hand over to you in a moment or so, but I think we can see the Celtic and Feyenoord teams making their way out onto the pitch some 30 minutes late. They're going to make a guard of honour, and I think we're going to hear from match MC Mike Hamilton. He's going to talk us through what's happening here. I think we can pick up some of that audio as we welcome to Celtic Park, Celtic's finest ever team, the Lisbon Lions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Celtic's finest team in our 115-year history, and the first side from Northern Europe to win the European Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome the Lisbon Lions. Billy, what does this mean for you tonight?
It's marvellous. Obviously, it's something we're very, very proud of. We always have been. We've always known that we had the support of the Celtic support. It's lovely to see them, and thank you very much for your support and the hospitality you've given us through the years. Thank you.
And also, Billy, great news tonight. Martin O'Neill's signing a new contract.
Well, that's even better news. That's even better news. Obviously, I think that will delight every Celtic supporter that's here and the ones that are not here. But the most important thing, I think this is going to be a real special season for Celtic. And I'm sure the players feel that way now, and they've had a real boost, and I think they'll go into great things.
Billy McNeill and the Lisbon Lions, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Okay, we are now just about as the Lisbon Lions take a bow. I think we can see those pictures. Absolutely, truly wonderful. Huge Celtic support inside Celtic Park tonight. The Lisbon Lions, led by Celtic's greatest ever captain, Billy McNeill. They're going to pose for a few photographs. Feyenoord in the black shorts and black socks, traditional red and white shirts, are on the traditional Rangers end of Celtic Park, facing opposite the Lisbon Lions stand where their own supporters are. The Celtic team on the other side, Captain Paul Lambert, young David Marshall. A big night for him, a final bow as the European Cup replica goes off with Jim Craig, who we'll hear from at the end of the game. Warm applause for Celtic's greatest ever team, and now I'm going to hand you over to Celtic's greatest ever commentary team, and that's a terrible link. Tosh McKinlay and Archie McPherson.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. Oh dear, a trip down memory lane. I remember them well. They came off Lisbon that day with, let me say, a more sparkle in their gait than they're doing tonight. I was speaking to Billy earlier on in the day, in the afternoon. Unfortunately, we went to a funeral of a mutual friend, a journalist, and he was talking about how much he was looking forward to this game tonight. It really was not just the game in itself. Of course, that should be entertaining, but the very fact that Celtic supporters turned up in big numbers as Tony. Our coverage of this game tonight, and this is Archie McPherson handing you back now to Tony Hamilton.
Thank you very much indeed, Archie. We're going to go back. We're going to speak to Jim Craig very shortly. We're going to go back pitch side and see what's going on, because the presentation is going to be presented to the winning captain. Unfortunately, it's not us, Jim.
Well, they were a better side on the night, Tony. We made it very much a testimonial game by changing our whole team at half-time.
Okay, we're going to hear from the Lord Provost, Alec Mawson.
Congratulate all the fans who turned up for this splendid display, and to pay homage to the finest Celtic team ever, possibly the finest team in the UK at that particular time. And it was a delight to see the Lions coming on and hear the roar once more at the beloved Celtic Park. Absolutely fantastic for Glasgow, for Scotland, and football in general. And it's a pleasure for me as the Lord Provost of the finest city in the world to be here on another history-making achievement for the famous, immortal Lisbon Lions.
Thank you very much indeed to Alec Mawson. The presentation will continue with the pictures. We'll welcome Tosh McKinlay back as well, and Jim Craig. And Jim, we were speaking earlier, we reckon just about 25,000 people here tonight in a game, to put it into perspective, where the majority of the working Celtic fans haven't had a wage since Christmas. They have to buy tickets for St Mirren, and of course they have to buy tickets for Stuttgart as well.
Sure, I don't think any of us have any complaints. We're very, very happy to get the recognition. It's been a long time coming in many ways, Tony, but it's very nice also to remember for something he did all those years ago. And I don't think any of the boys were disappointed tonight. We didn't expect a full house, and we're very pleased that so many turned up for the game.
And a great effort by those involved. Willie Hockey, one of the driving forces behind this.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the Lions can't thank Willie and his committee enough for the effort they have put in for an occasion like this. It's not finished yet. We have a dinner in summer to look forward to as well, and that's on the night of the 25th of May. So that's something for us to look forward to as well. And we've all enjoyed ourselves this evening, and our families, we were all sitting just behind the director's box, but our families are all in the 67 club, so we'll now go over and join them over there.
Just finally, Jim, before we let you go back and join your family, the best team tonight were narrowly beaten by a lucky Dutch side.
Well, it just shows you there are many teams, you know, throughout Europe of very good standard, Tony, and I think Feyenoord proved tonight they're one of them.
Okay, thanks very much indeed. We're going to look at the highlights, I think. We're hoping to hear from Martin O'Neill as well, Tosh, and hopefully we can hear from your big mate, Pierre van Hooijdonk, but we'll just have a look back at the highlights and the story of the game. 5 fantastic goals.
Yeah, I think first of all the fantastic free kick from Pierre set out the stall. There was always going to be goals in the game, and I think that was just the start. Kalou then picked up a bit of slackness from Bobby Petter, come in his left-hand side and made it 2-0. And really it looked as if Celtic were going to get turned over, and really had to show the fight to get back into the game. Lovely ball from Craney over the top. Henrik getting onto it, away from his marker, across the front of the goal, and John Hartson made it 2-1.
He's really on fire at the moment.
Yeah, he is, and obviously that gave Celtic a lift. At that stage, Feyenoord totally controlling the game, and there we see the ball getting switched from side to side, and I named Bonaventure Kalou man of the match. I thought he was terrific. Here we see him in the build-up again. Lovely skill. Played back to Ono, and the ball nestling in the back of Celtic's net. And at 3-1, really it was nothing more than Feyenoord deserved, because they really played well in that first half, that opening period. But certainly in the second half, Silla made a difference. I was swithering whether to name him half man of the match, but I didn't have really the cheek to do that. I went for Kalou, who over the 90 minutes I think deserved it, because Celtic really sending out a second string team in the second half, but a lot better in the second half in terms of passion. There's Tom Boyd winning a great tackle, sets Fernandez on his way, had the composure to look up and see Chris Sutton, ball dinked into Momo Silla, and again another good goal on the evening. And I did mention that I thought there would be goals, but certainly that was the last of them. It would be nice to get Celtic to get an equaliser with 10 minutes to go, and I'm sure they would have went on and won the game. But certainly over the piece, I think Feyenoord just slightly ahead of us in terms of game sharpness, and it will be a good run out for the Celtic lads. But it would have been nice either to get a draw out of it or to win the game for the Lions. But I think irrelevant the scoreline, it's all about paying tribute to the Lisbon Lions tonight. There we see a ball in to Chris Sutton, and him showing his strength, getting high up above Emerton and powering the ball in towards the goal. Couldn't hit the target. There we see the big Van Hooijdonk sniffing about, and a good tackle from John Kennedy at the end up. Really Van Hooijdonk couldn't get his foot on it. Another good shot from Momo Silla.
He really does fancy his chances sometimes as a striker, and he scored some fantastic goals.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's a bad thing for a player. You actually don't know what position he is. That one, good build-up play again, reminded me so much of the night in Basel, where the ball went into the other corner, but just came past the post, and I thought it was in all the way. And another good strike from Chris Sutton. But certainly in the second half, Celtic responded better. No coincidence that the manager was on the touchline, because I think he really demands that Celtic play with passion and enthusiasm.
Good for Celtic and for young David. His live trackside with Margot McQuaig.
Thanks, Tony. Stephen, tonight was about so much more than football, but out there on the pitch, that was 90 minutes of splendid activity.
That's right. Feyenoord are a very good side, and we know that as well, you know. But I thought both sides put on a good performance for the fans that turned up, and all credit to the fans that turned up as well.
We were disappointed, obviously, to lose the 2 early goals, Stephen, but we composed ourselves and came back quite well.
That's right. They started quick off the blocks, you know, and all credit to us as well, as you says. I thought we responded and came back right into the match.
Young David Marshall, we spoke about him while we were in Florida, just the whole case of Jonathan Gill going away to Preston, and the fact that, you know, obviously his role would become more prominent, and no more so than tonight when, with Magnus injured, he had to come into the side, and he did well enough.
That's right. I thought young David done very well, you know, and he's looked sharp in that in training as well, you know, and all credit to him as well. I thought he had a great performance tonight.
So what do we take from this, Stephen? You know, we've got a cup tie on Saturday against St Mirren, and, you know, plenty to look forward to.
That's right, definitely. Well, the manager's going to play 2 teams in each half, you know, and now it's up to him how he thinks look the sharpest, and obviously that will be the team for the game on Saturday. But we're looking forward to the rest of the season. We're still in Europe and that as well, and hopefully we can stay in that for as long as we can and claw back the 3 points in Rangers. I'm sure we can.
Tonight wasn't just about obviously football or indeed the Lisbon Lions, because a big element of the talking point was the manager, and we know that he's now signed an extension to his contract. So was that good news for the dressing room?
Oh, definitely. It relaxes everybody in the dressing room and that as well, knowing that he's going to be here for at least another year. So all credit to him, and we're all delighted that he's signed.
Well, it's no credit to you. Well done tonight. Good to see you back
Thanks
out
a
there.
lot. Cheers.
Well done. Thanks to Stephen Craney, and back to Tony in the studio.
Thank you very much indeed, Margot, and joining us as we about to wrap up the programme. We started 35 minutes late tonight. We got there in the end. Pierre van Hooijdonk, former Celt. Welcome back, Pierre.
Thank you.
And we were wondering, Tosh was wondering perhaps before the game, if you would score one of those goals that we saw you scoring so regularly here, and you had no problem with that tonight.
No. Yeah, I scored the last couple of seasons. I scored some free kicks, and yeah, I fancy this one as well.
And you got a fantastic reception tonight from the Celtic supporters.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, yeah, what I said to the people in Holland, you know, what to expect. Yeah, it all came out today, and yeah, I'm very happy with it, because that is what you play football for. When you play for a club and then you leave, you go to another one. And then you come back and you get a reception like this.
Josh, we know that you and Pierre are good friends. You know, how different would things have been here at Celtic if he had still been here for the last few years?
Yeah, I think he's a quality player. I enjoyed my time here. Every time I seemed to put the ball in the box, the big man got his head on it or scored the goal. So
Scottish Cup final?
Yeah, well, that's right, and I did have a very good understanding with him, and it was a bit premature when he left the club, but that's all in the past. He went on and forged himself a good career elsewhere, but I'd have loved to have seen him playing here for another 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Well, good luck, Pierre, wherever you move on to after Feyenoord. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to Tosh, to Archie, and to all our team. To Margot and to everybody else involved in tonight's broadcast. This was all about the Lisbon Lions. 23,000 people turned up to see Celtic sadly go down.
O'Neill is about
bag a couple as Celtic went on to beat St Mirren 3-0 and set up a fourth-round tie against either Airdrie United or St Johnstone. Despite being taken off injured, Chris Sutton trained this morning.
For them. He's a powerful player, and Archibald, we were talking earlier on about whether Archibald will get forward or not, and we'll
you think that might affect the way the game runs?
I think, I mean, if you go to see Celtic at all, you know exactly how they're going to play. You can do it with your eyes shut, really, how they're going to play. Lennon he'll give a little bit of security in front of that.
Ready to lead the teams out. It's Kenny Clark, who also was in charge at Easter Road on Wednesday evening in the Hibs Rangers match. He will be in the middle this afternoon. And you can see some brows dropping as the players come out to this fierce wind and very, very unpleasant overhead situation. Well, a lot of enthusiasm among the Thistle supporters. They're on a bad run at the moment. They haven't won in the last 6, and that, of course, is not what John Lambie is looking for. But it will not affect. That's a big difference, isn't it, Pat? I mean, teams on bad runs. You've seen that at Motherwell, for instance. After a very bad run, they come out against one of the big two and perform way above themselves.
Part of that thing is that there's no pressure on them, none at all. There's no expectation of them to win today, and they can go out almost relax and go for it. And if they have a good start, now to remember that they've not had a good run in results. I think Partick Thistle have been playing quite well recently, and they've been very, very unfortunate to lose some of the games that they have lost. But I think really the biggest problem they have had is been putting the ball in the net often enough. But as you look here, typical, as soon as the game's about to start, the snow starts falling, they will all have to work for it. And you sometimes look to maybe even players like Didier Agat, who sometimes gets a little bit caught inside himself and doesn't get involved in the game. And Celtic will go for the huddle here, as much to get their supporters going as to get a wee bit of heat, I think.
Well, this is now becoming so fierce that it may affect your pictures, actually. There may be a problem with vision here, because that really is a fierce snowstorm, the worst we've had so far on this Sabbath day. As the teams prepare to start the match, we had a good close look there at one of Scotland's most experienced officials, Kenny Clark from Paisley, who has developed immensely over the seasons in the refereeing world, and very highly regarded he is abroad in Europe. So with the advantage of the fierce wind, Thistle get us underway. Scott Patterson, that row in front of the back three, launches the ball deep into the Celtic half. And it will be a difficult first half this for Celtic against this fierce wind. The header away there was by Lawson, and it's back with his countryman Magnus Hedman in goal. Well, that certainly wasn't the best of passes to Jamie Smith. It put him under severe pressure, but he coped well enough. That's Lawson. Now Larson. Pace on the outside there from Petrov, but good covering play there from Thistle, and Stephen Craigan doing his work. Back. Balde coming in with that clearing header. Ferocious sight there for any forward with anything other than complete courage. Kenny Mill takes the throw, just back from injury, former Hearts player. Turned away there by Sutton, and Thistle unhappy about the decision given to Celtic. They may have had a case there. Here's Milne again, a very good left foot. Calharan playing it forward, Larson trying to get in behind Kevin McGowan. There's Patterson.
A very interesting thing's actually happened, Jock. We were expecting really Jerry Britton to be up front against the big Celtic centre-backs, but very interesting. They put Burns up there, you know, a very, very small man against the two big centre-halves that Celtic have got there. So I think Partick are thinking they're not going to win those balls in there, so they're not going to play them in there. They're going to play it in the ground, just as they have there to Alec Burns to link up.
Rowson getting involved, the former Aberdeen and Stoke City man. So the settling-in process continues. Thistle trying to get as many touches on the ball as they can. That's a clumsy one though. And the goal kick goes to Celtic. Yes, it does allow these two other strikers, if you like, to funnel back. John Lambie will have laid out the game plan, and clearly the confidence of Burns after scoring all those goals this season. He scored the last 5 Thistle goals. Yeah,
he has, and I've actually seen 1 or 2 of them, and he is looking very, very confident. But you know, if he gets on the ball, he needs to get the ball to his feet. I mean, it's a complete waste of time to put the balls up high between him and obviously big Bobo Balde, etc. But I think Thistle feel comfortable playing the ball in the ground as much as they possibly can. And of course, he's got a little bit of pace as well.
Well, Stephen Craigan's headed clearance. He's been named in the Northern Ireland squad to face Finland next week, so that should have done his confidence no harm at all. Here's Sutton. Good interception by Milne. The gap was caught at his heels there. It was a little bit hazardous from Heidman. He was hoping that might carry out, but held up in the wind, and it's played behind by Milne. Well, he should be used to tough conditions, the goalkeeper for Celtic, Magnus Hedman, Scandinavia. So the weather relenting a little, the snow flurry has stopped. Suddenly it's calmed down a little out there. Should lend itself to far better football. That's Patterson's header, straight to Sutton. Larson well policed back there by Craigan. Larson, they starting the game pretty well up front in his own, with Sutton still playing a little bit deeper. The link there between Larson and Sutton and Lennon. Here's Burns. Forced to hurry there by the attentions of Petrov, which were deemed illegal by the referee.
You mentioned there that Larson actually is staying the furthest man up front, and I think he's trying to put himself on Stephen Craigan as often as possible, because Stephen, one of his weaknesses in this game, he isn't necessarily the quickest player across the ground, and he's trying to get in the back of the Partick Thistle back 3, and then the fact that Kevin McGowan's quite new to the system, that's something that they might get a little bit of capital from.
Kenny Arthur's free kick. Played forward with McNamara. Lovely layoff there from Larson. That's to use the pace of Agat, and Milne was equal to that. And Kenny Arthur taking no chances with the clearance. Good movement offered there by Sutton for Celtic. Following player was Craigan once again as McGowan challenged Larson. Here's Smith. Very well challenged there by Patterson. Now Britton. Carelessness there from Patterson, and once again Celtic in break. This is Larson back with McNamara. Very good block. The last ditch there by Archibald. Petrov now to Lennon. Smith calls for the ball on the touchline. Stronger on his right side by Nature. Smith coming inside very willingly and easily. Here's a Gat. All of the evidence that Thistle are working extremely hard to close down Celtic players. Last and Sutton combine. Here's Sutton again, and a fine tackle. Well checked, well won there by Kevin McGowan. Referee Clark indicates the corner kick instantly.
It's a little bit tight there. I think Sutton was looking for a penalty kick there, but that's a wonderfully timed tackle, and it had to be well timed, and Kevin McGowan using all his experience there.
Thistle fans not happy with Sutton there for the way in which he went down, looking for the penalty. Still in Petrov with the corner kick. Good block there by Britton. Back with McNamara, and turned in inside the 6-yard box by Chris Sutton. Thistle looking hopeful towards the linesman, looking in vain, and Celtic have a lead very early in the match. It was question mark here, perhaps about offside.
Certainly was, I think so, but there's a man on the post there they can just see, but when the shot is actually struck, he looks to be in an offside position, but there was fairly poor marking in that box when the ball came in there. Celtic players were getting too much time on the ball. Larson gets a shot, a chance in there. They're still not closed down enough there at the edge of the box, but that was a very, very dodgy decision for offside there. I think we'll get a better view from this angle here. It's important to remember when the ball's actually struck, and well done, linesman, you've got it perfect.
Spot on, yeah. The question mark was answered there. Well, the question was answered by that replay. No question at all about an offside decision. And Chris Sutton gives Celtic the lead. Just to start, Thistle were anxious to avoid. No question about that. Well, McNamara credited, but surely the last touch was by Sutton.
There's no doubt at all about that. Typical striker's poacher's goal. Sutton, who has been in great form for Celtic this season, and it was a nice finish. You know, he's not got much time. The ball's zipping towards him, but Partick Thistle maybe were beginning to just defend a little bit too deep, and they've got a problem where if the ball doesn't stick with the two front men up there, the midfielders aren't getting up enough, aren't getting far enough the field to give them enough support. And you see that Thistle are playing with a back three. It's more and more looking like a back five as the two wing backs are getting too deep and not getting enough support up front.
So that free kick given for backhander there from Alec Burns as he was challenged by Bobo Balde. Very much a catch-weight contest that. Larson's header. It's well won by Patterson. A chance on the break now for Rowson. This is Burns. Mulhaven's going all the way across there with him. And Mulhaven coped very well indeed. This is Lennon breaking. Now Sutton. Oh, free kick given against Kevin McGowan. Thistle fans unhappy about that decision too.
Certainly were, but you're probably going to get that decision, and I think he's probably a good call there. But I think just moments before that is a perfect example of why Neil Lennon's important for Glasgow Celtic, because Valharan has slowed down Burns on the far side there. And Burns was looking lively and twisting, turning, but there Lennon get in and he tackled and he slowed any danger down whatsoever, and that's what he is. He's a safety gap in front of the front three, and that's where Lennon is very, very important to Celtic.
The target is Sutton. Put McGowan under pressure. This is Smith. That's a fine cross. Chance again for McNamara for the shot at goal this time. Couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, Smith's been very lively to start with here. You know, he's getting the ball, as you mentioned yourself before, he's not very good, not perfect in his left foot, so he always wants to bring it back onto his right foot. But this is a swirling, dangerous cross, And that's what Martin and he'll love to see, because he's got two very good players in there that are always going to be sniffing for chances there, and Chris Sutton and Larson, of course.
Well, the Thistle support somewhat subdued. The Celtic bench clearly delighted with that start, because it's the best thing to do, really, in adverse conditions against the alleged lesser side, is to give them a quick reminder at the start of the quality they're facing. This is Patterson. Alan Archibald. Hardy trying to put that back into danger area. It's not easy at all to win any high balls against this Celtic defence. Free kick's given. Challenged by Jamie Smith on David Lilly.
That's maybe the big question over Smith, you know, I mean, because Celtic play with that wing-back formation, so he's expected to do a good bit of defending. And it's very noticeable there that Hardy in the back post beat him in the air quite easily, and Celtic usually have pace and power and height out there.
Oh, a half chance there had Jerry Britton been able to control that on the turn. Not at all easy, of course. Former Celtic player Jerry Britton looked at one time as though he may have a big career there. It just didn't work out for him eventually, and he started his travels. It's a strangely subdued atmosphere right now, with Thistle going behind. John Lambie getting another cigar out. And he's indicated his intention to re-end the season. Well, he said that before, in fairness. Patterson's pass driven there to Hardy. Now Milne. Hardy fighting in. The flag is up against Britain. Must have been very close indeed.
He did have the flag up very early there. I think the linesman, when the ball's actually played, I think he probably has just drifted, and it's very, very close. And yes, once again, linesman, everyone's complaining about them, but once again, the linesman has helped Celtic out, but correctly.
There's always this feeling, I think, among opponents that when Celtic get in front, they're very hard to peg back. And I wonder if that is affecting Thistle psychologically, Pat.
It certainly is, and it's not only affecting Thistle, it's affecting the supporters as well. And you know, if they can go and get a little chance somewhere, a little bit of pressure on, like just now. Now, if they get a little bit of pressure, build up a little bit of a head of steam at all, the fans will get up behind them, and you know, the players are growing confidence from that. But when it's gone a little bit quiet, you know, the players, they're affected by that as well. And as you say, the worst thing against Celtic is to lose a goal early on.
McGowan had to play that safely, he couldn't take any chances at all. Back with Valharan. Now Lennon. There's always that exit ball for any Celtic player in possession in the opposing half. They can look for Sutton through the middle while Hartson is playing. And Larson too, very good in the air. There's Balde, forced to hurry by Britain. So the header away by Archibald. Thistle really, I think, intent at the moment in bedding in to make sure they don't lose a second and put the game really out of reach probably very early on. There's Larson setting it up for Smith. That was intended for McNamara. Good covering play though by Craigan and Lilly. Hardy and Patterson. There's Burns under pressure from Valharan. Here's Petrov. Lennon to Sutton. Petrov again. Here's Larson. Very good tackle. Unfortunate one by Archibald. Otherwise, Larson was in the clear. Hardy's pass misjudged.
I do think if that ball got through to Larson there, I think we could have had a contender for goal of the season there. The passing and moving on the way up towards that chance, or half chance there, was quite wonderful from Celtic. We heard in the interview before the game that Martin Neal thought that some of the play against Dundee United was quite scintillating. Well, if you look at Celtic's passing so far, the possession on the ball has been absolutely exceptional. Sutton holding the ball up and the Celtic players finding plenty of space.
The Maris pass well read by Milne to make the interception. Britton made a good run. Trailed by Valharan. Milne is supporting inside, but Valharan giving Britton no space at all.
Quite central to what we're suggesting there about Celtic passing well is that most of the players are very comfortable with the ball, and I think Jackie McNamara's had a fine start to this game as well, and that's great news for Scotland. And maybe, apart from maybe Bobo Baldi alone, all the Celtic players are very, very comfortable on the ball and looking very confident just now.
Well, Bobo Baldi might take exception to that comment, Pat.
I wouldn't suggest he was a Franz Beckenbauer type player, but he's got what he does, and I think Martin O'Neill, I mean, what he wanted to do is with a strong centre half, he was good in the air, he wasn't over concerned about distribution, and Bobo does a great job for him.
Foul by Sutton there, challenging for the high ball against Hardy. You're quite right, actually. The quality of the Celtic passing should be looked at in the context of the immense amount of hard work being done by Thistle to close them down. This time is a corner.
Yeah,
well, it's not as if Thistle are standing off, giving them all the space in the world, are they?
Yeah, and it does tell you something about the work rate of the Celtic players as well, because when Thistle get the ball, they've got one, they've got two people closing down the players all the time. I mean, you have to be more than just good players, you actually have to have good work rate as well. Celtic have shown that so far.
So Alec Burns will take this corner kick. Well, the referee spotting an infringement inside the 6-yard box, giving relief there to Celtic. Although Hedman, in fairness, coped quite well with this.
He certainly did, you know, that's a dangerous ball going in there, but I think maybe a little bit harsh there. I don't know if Stephen Craigan was Stephen Craigan. No, I don't really think there's a great deal in that, but if you go towards any goalkeepers these days, usually the referee's going to give it.
Rouston and Hardy together. Free kick given against Lennon. The Thistle have now matched up, haven't they? They've matched a 3-5-2. Martin Hardy's playing left centre midfield with Patterson the holding man in the middle and Rouston to his right.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly what they have done, and almost you can almost say that Celtic have won the tactical battle then, you know, because they've got their system in play, and the opposition have changed and adapted to their system, and in some ways that is playing into Celtic's strengths, but it's difficult not to do that, because if you don't, they've got quality to make the spaces count.
That's good play from Craigan against Larson. Rouston turns it back. Archibald aiming for Burns, who is offside, no question about that. Bobo Baldi had realised that Burns had strayed offside, left him alone there.
I'm slightly surprised when Burns doing that, you know, he's played with a lot of experience in playing in that position, and he was offside for a good 5 or 6 seconds before that happened, and Baldi just calmly watched him. He saved some energy as well by not running after him.
But Burns actually started at Motherwell as a major talent, and he was expected to go a long, long way in the game, and somehow lost confidence and lost his way a bit. Actually went junior for a spell with Shotts Bonaccord before coming back to senior ranks.
Well, that was certainly have toughened him up about, there's no doubt about that, but I mean, he has a good player, he's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and again, maybe I should talk, but you know, a couple of inches bigger, and I think he probably done an awful lot better in the game, but he is a natural goal scorer, but if he had games, if he was playing with a team that was winning every week and making lots of chances, I think he would be a top goal scorer, but he struggled to get into a team, or get a place in a team that's in one of the top 3, 4, 5 teams.
So his tally of 13 this season for Thistle, very impressive indeed. Has he given a throw or a free kick for that? Well, Harlan was leaning heavily into his man there. Free kick it is.
great camera up there. He spotted every single one of these little infringements very, very well, and I think the referee and linesman have got, the officials have done fairly well so far, I have to say.
Burns with a free kick. It's an awkward one. Lawson defending well for Celtic. Perhaps as well equipped as anyone to cope with that kind of ball in. It's a very dangerous one.
I have to say, it's a very dangerous one, and that's exactly what I was going to suggest there. I think the delivery from the Partick Thistle dead balls have been very, very impressive indeed. You know it's a little bit windy out there, and you just spin them in towards the goal, and you just never know, A, where the first ball is going to go, and any ricochets are going to go. I think that's been very impressive from Thistle so far.
That's a good pass. Hardy to Rowson. Lilly breaking. Well, entitled to have a shot there, David Rowson.
He certainly had, and had support outside him, which again was very heartening that the support was going, and that opened up the space in front of him. But it's going to have to be a great shot from there. But if you follow the shot in here, it's zipping in. It's a cold day. If any spillages at all, Burns is right beside him.
So headed away by Milne, falls straight to Lennon. Back with Balde. Valharan to Agat. Closing down rapidly there by Milne. That's a foul, all right. Flattering into McNamara. No argument there. Celtic have possession. McNamara again under severe pressure from Britain this time. And now Lennon. Petrov made a run. Well, he scored a few from long range still in Petrov in his Celtic career. Just didn't sit up right for him.
Yeah, it was a very good first touch. He took it well in his chest. The ball's landed where he wants it to land, but he's had quite a quiet start so far, but we all know he's very, very capable from that angle. Another player, the move started on the right there, and it started from Agat, and it's very noticeable that Agat, so far, every time he's got the ball, he's gone inside with it. He's not used that blistering pace he's got to go outside, and that's probably a wee bit of a disappointment to Martin O'Neill that he's not used that yet, because and that's certainly his strength. I don't know if he's not liking the cold, but he's brave enough to wear those short sleeves, but maybe it's more to do with the fact that Kenny Milne has played them very well today.
I think Milne deserves a lot of credit for his performance so far. Bit of barging there by Valharan on Britain, and the free kick goes to Thistle, and it's a chance for one of those good set pieces again, which Pat Nibbs is talking about. Alec Burns is the man usually entrusted with these kicks around the penalty box.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll do, and he'll spin it in, and he'll try and land it round about that little patch just in front of the 6-yard line there. That's probably where he'll be aiming it for, and give him a go, and he's no bad in the air there, and neither is Jerry Britton. So if he can, another good one, it'll cause Celtic some problems.
Everyone back for Celtic. A variation offered here. That's a fine effort. Very well struck by Archibald. Now they could suffer as Larson chases the long ball, and very calm defending there by Cragen.
That's excellent work by Partick Thistle, because everyone, including me, expected exactly the same as usual because it's caused trouble. Quite obviously John Lambi's worked very, very hard in the set pieces, and it's not quite paid off yet, but it's looking as if it's capable of paying off.
Larson had gone inside as Petrov tried to set him up there. Here's Hardy. Milne did well. An awkward one there. Headman concerned that ball didn't reach the penalty box because of the wind, but it did.
I think a few centre forwards would have went in there, taken ball, goalkeeper and everything, just to let the goalkeeper know. But and I think the Thistle fans are wanting Alec Burns to go all the way through it, because heading, it's a wee bit of chance there. It was millimetres in it.
Scott Patterson. Now Britain, good change of pace to take the ball away there and set up pass inside for Rowson. Disappointment there for Martin Hardy. It's been a great run in inside left channel. Here's Petrov, the furthest forward of the Celtic midfield players. As he caught there by Rowson, Petrov stays down. Seemed to take a wrap in the ankle there. This is Burns. He's taken a rattle there from Bobo Balde from behind.
I think Petrov's more likely to have actually twisted his ankle when it went down, but I think Burns probably get as bad a rap as anyone. But the Thistle players, they're really getting, I think it's possibly the way his ankles went as he's fallen down there, but I think certainly Burns, he seemed to get the worst one, and Bobo Balde not averse to going in behind and letting somebody know he's there.
Well, there's Alec Burns, and he certainly took a stiff one from behind there from Balde.
Yeah, we've got a good shot of it here then, and just he's laid it off, he knows he's going nowhere. There doesn't seem to be a great deal on that either. It could well be, again, it could well be, it's a slippery surface there, you know, and if you twist your ankle as you go down.
The treatment suggests a twist rather than a bruise, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's not the type of player that just dives about the place, you know. We all know that some do, but there's another.
No blame to Balde at all there, none whatsoever.
I think it's been a good little period for Thistle though, in the last 5 minutes or so, you know, that wee bit of confidence growing up around the place. They've started playing the ball about well, and I think it probably came from those set pieces where they've got little half chances.
Good play by Mike Namara. This is a gap now. That was perhaps a chance to head for the byline.
Precisely what I was thinking there, Jock.
There's Archibald with Sutton. Well, the linesman right there says it came off Sutton last. It's a goal kick.
Just shows you the differences you have in this. I thought we got that wrong. I'd have said that was a corner, but I'm sure we'll get a great view here. Yeah, I would say that was a corner, but it's a tough one to judge if you've not got it in slow motion.
Perhaps suggests that Foley are trying to let balls run out in circumstances like these. Now Scott Patterson. That's Milne, back to Archibald. Easy one for Agat, now he can attack. Larson to Sutton. Willie's clearance is fouled in the process, and that's why it's a free kick to Thistle. And the yellow card's given to Petrov. Now Petrov had been having words with the referee a few moments ago about that last incident when he was injured. And that's a continuation, I think, of all that.
It certainly is, and referees know that themselves, and there's no doubt that he's left his foot in there. The ball's gone away. You have to say that. Although it does look a bit mild, you know, he's not really going to get the ball, and that can be quite painful to get the. And I think more than anything else, exactly as you say, he's had a dig at the referee before that. He's annoyed the referee, and it's an easy decision for the referee to then make. I think just before that we were chatting about a wonderful opportunity for a gap, 1-on-1 with the full-back there. Acres and acres of space with his pace, and once again he plays the easy, simple ball. It really is a surprise that, you know.
Is that really just confidence, Pat? Is that really the key?
Yeah, definitely is the key, you know. And you're not getting confidence unless you have a go at it, and you're 1-0 up. You're getting plenty of the ball. You might as well go for it. You might as well try it out, and that'll be annoying the manager Martin O'Neill there. He'll want that to get to the byline and get some balls back for his centre forward.
Strong challenge by Valharan and by Patterson for Thistle. McNamara playing that back. Larson had to hurry, he did well. Now Smith. Sutton trying to play it into Smith's path. And Arthur did well against Larson. There's still a problem perhaps here, and there was a foul, yes. The challenge by McGowan on Smith.
Yeah, I don't actually think he caught him particularly badly as well, but I think he took him off his stride there, and I think the referee, even though there wasn't much contact, I think the referee probably got that one right. I'm just looking at Smith there. He's looked very, very lively, but he's got nowhere near the space that Agat's got, and I bet he wishes he was swapping wings right now.
Well, he certainly started out as a right-sided player, Jamie Smith. He was very effective. Flashing outside right. Well attacked inside the area there. Lily. Here's Larson, turns it back, and Hedman has plenty of time now to start a Celtic move through Lennon. Sutton's way off, here's Larson. Possession back with Thistle. You have to say, with the half-hour mark just passing there, if you edit out that Celtic goal, I think John Lambie might not be too unhappy.
Yeah, I do think it was the start. I think, for all we thought before the game, I think Thistle were the more tentative team at the start. Celtic have gone out, got the goal, and almost said to Thistle, "Oh, come at us." And the problem, of course, that Thistle and Lambie have, if they do go at them, it'll leave gaps at the back. But they've fought well. They've actually started passing well.
Well, some determined play there on the flank. David Lilly challenging there on Balde. It's resulted in a goal kick, but there's a statement been made by this. He's so determined to chase and harry and battle for the ball.
It's certainly the case with Thistle. You'll never complain about the lack of effort from any player on the field and any player that John Lambie puts out there. Always scared to walk back in and left. If you don't put the effort in there, you'll know all about it at half-time. But also keeps you warm, of course. But once again, we've got the sun shining now, and it looks a beautiful early afternoon here in north central Glasgow.
This is incredible, actually. The wind has dropped too, so with all the seasons virtually in half hour.
But it's still not. Celtic can't relax here. 1-0's definitely not enough, and as Thistle grow in confidence, they certainly can't relax. But not quite comfortable. But I do think that Thistle will get chances as the game goes on.
Oh, lovely bit of ball control from Burns. Was he hit there on the way inside? Referee Clark couldn't have been closer to the incident. Kamara and Lennon work the ball back. Here's Larsson. Sutton setting up Larsson. The covering player was McGowan. Here's Sutton again. Well tackled once more by McGowan. Now Agat. Well, this time he heads for the byline. That's the play that Pat Nevin wanted. The Sutton. 2-0 to Celtic. The first time Didier Agat has gone to the byline. Celtic score.
You can't believe that he's not done it before, because it's effortless for him when he goes at that. It's such a wonderful, blistering pace, and that causes defenders all sorts of problems. It's a lovely finish from Chris Sutton there. That's 2 goals for him there. But look at that pace. They're not going to get near him at all. And the one thing defenders and goalkeepers hate is a ball coming back from the byline, and there's not much you can do about that as well. But that shows you what the guy can do when he puts his mind to it. And he's even got time to look up there.
Poor clearance, though, I have to say. That was disappointing because it went straight to Sutton.
Certainly, but he looks very comfortable when he puts it in. It's side-footed, he's not blasted it, he's very comfortable there. And once again, McNamara, he's having a good game. He's always involved. He's wanting to get in there in that box. You get the feeling that Jackie McNamara, he's desperate to be part of this team and put his position, get in that position, because he sees that obviously Lambert's getting on a little bit now, and there may be a position there to get. But once again, I think you've got to say Agat, I feel as if he went for it every time and looked interested every time, it seems like he could almost score it well.
Some fine play helped by some less than convincing defending. Give Celtic that second goal and give Sutton his 14th and 15th goals in the season. Here's Hardy. Very careless play. Smith may punish Thistle for that. Free kick. Bundled over there. Jamie Smith with that very low centre of gravity. Very hard to get off the ball when he's in full cry like this.
Yeah, it's great to see that. He gets the ball, takes the first man, and then they have to make a decision. They have to bring him down, and it's good to see that. But there'll be a little fight over who's going to take this here. I'm sure Larsson will be desperate for it, and Petrow's not bad for these positions as well.
Well, the discussion goes on between Larsson and Petrov. Sutton's joined that wall, tallest of the lot. Larsson scored many a likely free kick from here, and he almost did it again. Well, Kenny Arthur, to his credit, was right across there. I'd argue he may have had that covered, but it was a fine effort.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of power in that as well. He's not really taking a great run up, but I think that's just skimmed to the edge of the post there, and Wonderful effort from last night. He's got a little bit of the wind behind the wind there is. He's slightly behind them there, and that's helped him a little bit. But difficult one for the keeper. If you take one step to your right there, it's very difficult to get back.
Larson picks out Larson again. He tried to take Petrov's run there and played in his path. No space there for Britain on the far side. We mentioned Jackie McNamara there. I mean, people see him or think of him more as a right back or a wide right player, but within the game, people tend to think central midfield is his best position.
Yeah, I think he's played very, very well every time he's been played in there, and particularly for Celtic and even for Scotland. You know, he's done very well in kind of one step in from the wide areas. But because he started off as a kind of right back, in many ways, people have always put him in that position. But he's an accomplished player, and I think he's a very matured player at the moment. He's had a lot of difficulties with injuries over his career. I think just now he may well be coming into his best form that he's been in many years.
Well, that's good play by Sutton. There's Petrov. Played back there by Larson to McNamara. The running figure was Petrov. Once again, good passing among the Celtic players under pressure in tight circumstances. Let in the outlet once again. There's Will Harron. Well, the Gats enjoyed that first foray on the flank and perhaps thinking of another. Sutton's ball in, there's Larson! With an excellent chance for Henrik Larsson. Perhaps surprised by the quality of the pass.
Yeah, they have been exceptional at that today, you know. Whether it's been Petrov that's running from deep or Larson or even Sutton that's running from deep, very difficult to pick up, and they're just flicking those little balls into those little areas there. Very difficult to defend against, and it's almost a throwback to a Celtic team of old. You know, they were always wonderful at doing that little play. And you think recently, this season and last season, it's been more down the wings and pumping big balls in the middle. But I think that's been very, very impressive. And Mark O'Neill was saying beforehand that he thought the play was scintillating last week, and there's been a lot more guile to the play, and that's certainly been the case so far.
And the contribution of Chris Sutton shouldn't be underrated in that situation. He's got a very good touch for a big man.
He certainly has, and a lot of the time if he's playing the furthest man up, he holds the ball off wonderfully well, links it up and allows players to come in, but he shows he's a player that can play a number of positions, and if he plays one off it, his vision to see these little through balls is excellent too.
Lennon's clearance, here's Larson on his own for the moment. Holds it up well. Petrov very quickly up to support, and here's a Gat in full flow again. Why did he go inside? Is the question, I think, once again. And the space on the right, on the flank. Lennon's pass, Petrov hustled out of that very well indeed by Patterson. Misjudgment there by Britain. Celtic will come again. And from a Thistle point of view, a third goal before half-time really would be, surely, too big a burden to carry. Fouled by Craigan on Larson. I think Craigan was trying to influence the referee before he blew his whistle.
I think Stephen has to be a wee bit careful now, you know. There's not been vicious fouls, you know, but he's clipped to both centre forwards quite a few times now, and if it's persistent foul, the referee might be tempted to reach for this card.
Well, he's having a word because he kept protesting there. I can't understand that. I mean, he's got the free kicks being given. He's not going to change his mind.
Yeah, I mean, they're up for the game, and they'll all be a little bit frustrated as well just now because they've had a couple of little good periods, but the final self 2-0 down, and there will be a little bit of frustration creeping into that play.
Baldy well challenged there inside the area by Hardy. McNamara quickly to the ball. Here's McGowan. Now Rowson. Hardy did well, screening the ball, and the pressure there from Baldy and McNamara. Archibald long, and well, Harron can decide which option he likes there, and it's Lennon who's gone very deep.
It was wonderful play there by Lennon. You mentioned them being very deep there. It's because Bobo Baldy was caught defending. I mean, 3/4 way up the field. That's how high Celtic were wanting to defend there. But Lennon saw that, spotted it. Very intelligent, very quietly, just went back in and flipped it over.
There's Lennon again, setting up Larson. Another player who would certainly have been capable of going at the last defender and going past him, but chose to have the shot at goal.
Yeah, he's already had one sight at goal already. But as you say, you think the option to be running to play there, if you got 1-on-1, he is very, very capable of it. But he's had one great strike so far, and they probably felt confident getting that on target, but sliced it off high and wide.
Well, Thistle certainly haven't enjoyed the effects of the break, winter break. We've come back to 2 defeats in a row, the cup against Dundee and the league against Livingston, and now facing the prospect of a 3rd in a row after that break.
It was a difficult period for them, but if you all remember at the start of the season, Thistle, they had one thing in mind for this season. They wanted to stay in the Premier League, and at the moment they're 6 points off the relegation spot, and in the wider sense they're probably quite pleased with that. But today they want to make an impression in Celtic like they did in August when it was a very, very tight 1-0 defeat.
Oh, they also had that CIS Cup match which they lost in penalty kicks to Celtic, so they have competed well on a couple of occasions. Also the 4-0 defeat. So no joy again there for Alec Burns, trying to break on the left-hand side. And Celtic looking more and more comfortable, it has to be said.
I think comfortable is precisely the word that I was thinking about there. Everyone was looking as if they've got more space in the ball. I mean, Thistle working hard, they're trying to close them down, but their passing has been so quick, it's been so sharp and so confident that you know, they've not really been put a lot of pressure there, and you feel as if almost as if there is another gear for Celtic if they fancy it, if they need it.
Carefully turned back by Archibald, protecting the ball with a pass back, which is always a good policy. So the 4th official, George Clyde, indicating a 1 minute additional period at the end of this first half. There hasn't been too much time lost, a couple of injury stoppages.
I think we've seen a little bit of action there. They kind of summed up a little bit of Partick Thistle's problem so far in the first half. You know, the final ball when it's been a dead ball has been quite good, but their final ball when they've got up the park and the final piece of the control when they've got up the park has let them down quite a few times so far today.
Clearance there by Larson, and Sutton putting pressure on against Craigan. Craigan did well, he was fouled. Determined play by Stephen Craigan. He still wants to have a debate with the referee. He thinks he was elbowed, and he's trying to make that point.
Well, I think he's probably right. Chris Sutton is extraordinarily good about that. Inverted commas, professional. The way Sutton goes about it, holds people, uses his strength, uses his physique, which is not inconsiderable. But Stephen Craigan, as you say, wants to say a lot about it, but knowing Stephen very well, he's not Celtic-minded, shall we say.
Racing forward, that's for Barnes. Nowhere to go there, except the dressing room if he wants.
And again, that's another example of that. They get into that final third, and really, I mean, Alec Burns, particularly in the last 5 to 10 minutes, he started to lose control and not holding the ball in tight. It's got to stick when it goes up there, because it's not going up there often enough for Thistle's liking.
Good challenge by Patterson on Sutton. Rowson immediately dispossessed by McNamara. Well, that's good play by McNamara. That's for Smith on the run. Good chance here for Celtic. And a very good block in the end. It was very well struck by Sutton. McGowan took the full brunt of that.
The ball goes out of play. Kevin McGowan will probably go down after that. But a wonderful piece of play just before then. McNamara once again showing not only his willingness to get forward, but he's got great vision at the moment. He really is picking out nice passes, and I think there's a good argument he's been the best player on show today.
Valdi quite happy to escort that back to his goalkeeper. 2-0, I think, would be immensely satisfactory for Celtic at half-time. And then we'll have to see what miracles can be worked by John Lambie at half-time for the Thistle players. Breaks off Sutton for Patterson. Here's Burns. What a difference a goal for Thistle would make. Hardy. That's a very easily read by Agat. Agat has all sorts of options now. One of them is Petrov to his left. This is Sutton.
That's quite a huge disappointment really there from Agat. He's gone inside. That's huge, as you say, loads and loads of options. The correct option was Petrov on the left-hand side there. He was free, it was a one-on-one goal, and made the wrong decision. But
Petrov told him about it as well. So there's the half-time whistle, and Thistle trailing.
But he's probably behind Thistle now, and I might like give him a little bit of psychological help that he can push up the field a wee bit more and support the front too.
Rowson linking with Burns. Support coming from Lilly, from Cragen rather. He's well forward this time. Burns has gone down. Now, he was injured in the first half with his ankle, and he seemed to have similar trouble there as he went down, but he's back on his feet to continue. Hardy to Milne, and too strong with a pass. Well, that's the kind of giveaway that Thistle can't afford.
Yeah, well, we're seeing that, you know, it is breaking down far too easily just in the last third of the field, and obviously that's where Celtic are going to close them down, but they need a bit more quality there, and Burns in particular, I mean, ever since that little injury that you mentioned there, I think he's not been tidy at all. He's been as tidy as he was before that, and as threatening as he was before that.
There's Britton finding Burns in the middle. Perhaps too long in the air, that one. Yes, Jamie Smith well back in that wing-back role, performing his defensive duties. This is Petrov. I don't really know what Cragen could have done there as Petrov stepped inside him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get out of the way of that, but in some ways it's a clever way as well, but maybe if Kevin were stood off, he might have actually been able to walk away with the ball, but probably right to give a free kick, but quite a soft one.
The way was by Hardy, straight to McNamara. Hardy was strong getting back in the ball there. Once again, Celtic retrieve in midfield. O'Haran coming from the back. It's Britton. Short layoff there. Cragen. Takes it back from Burns. Nowhere to go there for Britton in midfield. He's won it back, no, from McNamara. A little bit of carelessness there from Frankie McNamara. That's unusual this afternoon.
It's funny that Jerry Britton's had very, very little impact in the game today. And every time he's got the ball, he's been closed down. And what's happened throughout the game is he's went deeper and deeper and deeper, and picking the ball up in his own half, and really he's only leaving Alec Burns up front there. And when Burns gets the ball, if he doesn't hold it and get a good touch first time, there's no one else to bring in, and that has put more and more pressure on Partick Thistle. But the reason being is I think that space is getting closed down by Neil Lennon, and once again a lot of people do criticise Neil Lennon, but there may well be weaknesses in his game, but it's an intelligent game he plays, and he plays that position well. Doesn't necessarily push forward, but I think that's what the manager wants from him.
Smith battling back again. We saw the attendance there. 7119 is the crowd this afternoon. We should all be congratulated, I think, for coming out in such a miserable afternoon. Back from Patterson. Here's Cragen tidying up. Well, the problems are all with this. They really have to come up with something to shake up the game and turn the tide, because they really have been second best for the entire match so far. And they're looking to men like Alec Burns there to just a little bit of imagination up front. That's good running from Petrov to take the pass from Sutton. Agat arriving late on the scene. It's a very well-timed tackle by Milne. Britton.
Again, Celtic are excellent at that. That time it was Jackie McNamara that went over and covered it behind his defender, you know, and Jerry Britton gets the ball and he's taking up the perfect position. He's run well into the wide area. He's got two players on him, nowhere to go at all, and again, that's the way that Celtic are seriously, technically well organised.
Here's Smith again. He's elusive, he's quick, he's very skillful with the ball at his feet. Across it goes from Lennon to Petrov and to McNamara. And that's Sutton's well back in midfield. Larson on his own up front, supported mostly there from midfield by Petrov. The gap is there for Smith to go through. And the covering player was Patterson. Well, you can imagine at half-time John Lambie would have been doing what Chick Charney was saying there, telling them to get the sleeves up and to make some tackles and get about Celtic, but it's not so easy, Pat, is it?
No, it's not, especially as you're hardly getting a kick of the ball. You know, when you lose the ball, Celtic will keep it for a long time, they pass it around. They have absolutely no need to push it. They don't have to push it. So Thistle, temptation, it's a catch-22. If they come out, they're going to leave gaps, and the quality players Celtic are going to use those gaps. If they stay off it, Celtic just keep the ball as long as they like. They're 2-0 up, that's plenty for them. So difficult position, and difficult position for the manager now, because I'm already beginning to look over to the subs bench at Thistle to see if he is going to make any changes. But the changes he's going to make, I think it's not only going to have to be personnel, I think it's going to have to be tactical and systems as well.
Very experienced manager John Lambie, been around in the game for a very long time in a coaching capacity. Here's Lennon now to McNamara. I wonder too when Celtic may consider giving some of those promising youngsters on the bench an opportunity. Stephen Craney had a long spell in the team last season. He's hoping again for an opportunity, and Colin Healy too, desperate to get first team football. And Sean Maloney also has shown his potential in the past.
I'd love to see Sean Maloney getting another chance again, because I don't think he's ever let Celtic down when he's been given opportunities. And when you look at the period of time when Celtic lost over Moravchuk, you know, they did lose something there. They lost an option. They lost something completely different to change and adapt a game when they were finding it difficult to break teams down. And sometimes Celtic do get difficult times, and I become sometimes do look a little bit pedestrian. I think it's something absolutely special and totally different to bring on. They've got a lot of people to bring on in similar positions, someone to do something totally different, and maybe Maloney's got a little bit of that.
Well, we may see him before long, but meantime it's Celtic cruising at the moment. And here the Thistle supporters trying to give some encouragement here, to put some life, breathe some life into a team which, in all honesty, at the moment is struggling to cope. Here's Larsson. And that's for Larsson. Well, I had a strong feeling that had it really mattered, Larsson would have done better with that.
Yeah, I mean, we just see the end of the mood there with Larsson. He's hit a wonderful run forward, and although it was on Larsson's wrong foot, usually he connects well with those, and he's not got his goal yet today. Somewhat surprising.
Yeah, they're 2 down and Larsson hasn't scored. There goes Agat once again. Good ball across, but I think it may have been delivered a little bit earlier than the strikers thought it might.
It's maybe even a wee bit too quick, but I think every striker will tell you, if he gets past his man and whips that ball in there, they'll want him to do that all day long, because you know, it really is only half a yard short, and as you say, maybe a little bit too early, but all strikers will say, don't even bother looking up. If you're in that area, put it in the danger area. You'll make the chances count.
So Martinelli looking on, which I'm sure even he would concede was comfortable at the moment, but he's still shown some little bit of prickliness there about criticism about the team's performance last midweek against Dundee United. 2-goal half-time lead remained the same to the end, and the performance dropped in that period, so he'll be looking to maintain the momentum.
I think
That's Lily's clearance straight into no man's land.
Yeah, I think Martin actually has shown a little bit of annoyance with the press over the past few months, and it slightly surprised me because, you know, it goes with the job here. You know, it's a huge job, one of the biggest jobs in Scotland, not just Scottish football, and surprised he always takes it to heart so much sometimes.
Larson again shows some neat footwork to find McNamara. This is a gat. McNamara still available behind. Lennon obviously called for that. That's a fine dummy. There's Sutton for the hat-trick. Wonderful step over there by Larson to give Sutton the chance.
His vision, Larson's visions here is astounding. Wonderful dummy. Knows that, won't necessarily know exactly where Sutton is, but he's not even taking a look back. He knows he's in that area, and they really have got a wonderful understanding together when they play up front. And it's sometimes the big argument whether Hartson should be playing, etc. But when those two fire together, their understanding is quite exceptional. And in some ways, throwback to an era of John Toshack and Kevin Keegan. Great understanding.
Showing some age there. Interesting to see how well Jamie Smith has adapted that wing-back role. He's backtracking again, using his pace to defend.
Yeah, there's no lack of willingness from it. It's great to see that. And as I say, Celtic haven't necessarily fixed that position yet. You know, they've got various players, Thompson, etc., who can play there and do play quite well there. But it's always good to have someone who's come in, and the fact that he gives him something completely different when he comes in on his right foot for a shot, you know, that's another option. But he has defended well as well.
Steve Guppy also on the bench though for Celtic. He could come on and maybe even have Smith switch to the right. Kevin McGowan's clearance. Very experienced player. Surprise release there from Dundee United, wouldn't you say?
It was a bit of a surprise release, you know, and in fact the whole situation at Dundee United was slightly surprising over the last little while. Where they went out and they got rid of some players and brought some other players in, and then changed the manager, which was a bit of a surprise. But I think Kevin would have probably liked to have seen what would have gone on under the new manager. But you know, he's had a good career in the game here, and he is a strong centre back. And I think as time goes on with Partick Thistle here, I think what will happen is he'll get to know the players around him better, and he'll look a steadier defence with him there.
Here's McNamara again, finding space in midfield. Petrov, Sutton, the dummy from Larson. And there was no messing about there by Alan Archibald.
Races at training tomorrow morning will be Slovakian international Stanislav Varga and Croatian World Cup star Milan Rapajic, who will also have a trial period at the club. Milan Rapajic arrived in Glasgow a short time ago. The 29-year-old has had his contract terminated by Turkish side Fenerbahce, and his agent says he's currently looking at his options.
We're just here just to have a look at Glasgow and go from there. Okay.
The midfielder who scored Croatia's winning goal in the dramatic World Cup win over Italy claims he's also wanted by Liverpool and says he'll sign for Celtic or the Anfield club until the end of the season. The Celtic manager will also take a look at Varga, who's unemployed having left Sunderland. The defender has plenty of experience and could provide cover for the injured Johan Mjällby. And the winter...
Petrie. This is one of the men Martin O'Neill is hoping to make a Celtic player. Stanislav Varga arrived for his first training session today, along with fellow potential signing Milan Rapajic. Slovakian defender Varga is hoping to impress this week with a view to securing a move to Glasgow. And it's emerged that one man the Hoops boss is thought to have made a move for, former Leeds United and current Manchester City striker Darren Huckerby, snubbed the Scottish champions for Nottingham Forest.
And as Celtic manager hopes to...
Well, it's one way of keeping warm, although Sean Maloney didn't fancy keeping in step with Varga and Rapajic at Celtic's morning workout. And Martin O'Neill says the weather's prevented him arranging a practice match to see what the Slovakian defender and Croatian midfielder can do. But he's impressed by what he's seen so far.
Rapajic can definitely play, without a doubt. Varga, whatever you say about him, he's definitely comfortable in the ball. But it's too early to make a complete assessment.
O'Neill himself will be under scrutiny on Friday when he appeals against a UEFA touchline ban. He was sent to the stand during the third round win over Celta Vigo. If the appeal fails, he'll be banned from the dugout for both legs of the fourth round tie with Stuttgart.
I wanted a hearing anyway because I just some of the things that were emanating from it were I felt were not conversations that had taken place during the course of the evening, and I just wanted to put my side of the story, whatever that entails.
Meanwhile, Hibs.
Milan Rapaic and Stanislav Varga joined Celtic's first-team squad as they prepared for their CIS Cup semi-final against Dundee United. And Martin O'Neill will decide by early next week if the players will be offered signing terms.
Rapaic has he's definitely got proven qualities, good pedigree. Played in the World Cup, and obviously he's good enough to be in Fenerbahce's side for a while. He's a bit short of fitness. I think he hasn't played for about 4 or 5 weeks. But I'm pleased he's made the effort to come over.
Slovak defender Varga would provide Celtic with cover for the injured Johan Mjalby right now. And the Celtic boss can well remember him from his time on Wearside.
He was doing really well at Sunderland. Obviously things have not worked out. And again, he might have a number of alternatives left over. So it's a very open-minded thing. Have a look ourselves, and if things work out, then I would take it further.
One man unlikely, with O'Neill quick to point out that the Manchester City player hadn't rejected a move to Glasgow.
His agent called to say that, knowing that I had an interest in Darren when I was at Leicester in those days, and there was a possibility of him going out on loan, would be considered to the end of the season. Of course it did. After which, there was a number of obstacles that came up that all, because it was very late in the day, became insurmountable.
Celtic will now arrange a game in which they can assess their 2 guests, and only after that is business likely to be done. Davy Province, Sky Sports.
It was 77 when we beat Rangers in the Scottish Cup final, and we won the double. Andy Lynch scored with a penalty kick, and it was to be my last competitive game for Celtic, so for me it was quite a memorable occasion.
And Pat, your memories of this?
Well, I saw some of those games that Kenny played in, but I also played in, one of my highlights was playing in one of Kenny's last games for Scotland. It was one of my first games for Scotland's 100th cap here, and my last game at Hampden.
Your name is in the papers more than Michael Jackson today, isn't it? All about what Martin O'Neill said yesterday about this young lad, Jamie Smith, and how you put him to Livingston on loan.
To be perfectly honest, it was a great day for the young boy yesterday, being named in the Scotland squad for the first time. It must have been a very proud moment for both himself and his parents. Why Martin has chosen to bring me in, it defies logic, or my logic anyway. Let the boy enjoy the moment, get on with it. He's playing tonight, let's hope he plays really well. That was 3 years ago. The boy was about 18 years of age, I think, 19 years of age. Going on loan to another club is development in many people's eyes, but obviously not in Martin's.
Exciting talent, is he?
Yeah, I've seen him playing Sunday.
It was a defeat by Celtic last Wednesday that brought to an early end the 14-month reign of manager Paul Hegarty. New boss Ian McCall then, his second winning 2 games, it would be a massive shock. Celtic have won 13 games in a row against the Tayside Terrors, and they haven't lost against them in this competition for 14 and a half years. Martin O'Neill, for whom this cup was a first trophy as Parkhead boss in 2001, has John Hartson fit as well from a knee strain. He scored in every game he's played against Dundee United. Lambert returns for Jackie McNamara. Calcaran plays despite a nagging groin strain, which has forced him out of Belgium's game with Algeria next week. Jamie Smith, Wilson, Loughlin and Patterson come back. Derek Lilly's preferred to Alan Smart up front alongside captain Billy Dodds, just signed from Rangers, of course. Groom stays in goal despite being sent off in his first game of the season against Motherwell at the weekend.
Exactly, Ian McCall just into his second.
Official, and it'll be Dundee United in the tangerine and black who kick us off and underway. Kicking then from left to right in this first half and away towards the east end of Hampden Park's mighty stadium. This is Hartson, who has this wonderful record of scoring against Dundee United. They've never failed to stop him finding the net. And Larsson, who could well be on course for his 3rd Scottish Footballer of the Year title. How highly do you rate him, Trevor, as strikers you've seen?
Oh, he's pure legend in Celtic terms. His goal-scoring record is phenomenal, at international level as well. And people have always asked, why does he not move away from Celtic? It's because he's such a legend here, and his goal-scoring ratio is absolutely extraordinary.
Hartson, dug up and away though by Wilson. That's McCracken. who clears it away. Glaswegian, his only club Dundee United. He's played 20 of the last 22 games. And an early free kick for Celtic. Falkeren goes down. The Belgian manager has said he thinks he needs another operation on a troubling groin problem, but Martin O'Neill has denied this. This is Boba Balde, the removal man. Sutton, whipped away by McCracken once again. Dundee United have no sort of form at all. 1 win in 12. But is he the man to turn things around? It's a far cry from one of his earliest CIS games as a manager. Clydebank against East Stirling, watched by 29 people. A long while ago.
Ian McCall has spent some while building his reputation with smaller clubs, and Ian's somebody I played with at Rangers a long time ago. Great talent as a footballer, never really fulfilled exactly what he could have achieved, but in management he's certainly one that's proven himself.
Hudson. Good strong challenge on him though by Loughlin. It was on the end of a very good Henrik Larsson goal a couple of years ago in this stadium. It was a diving header. Now Boa Balde way, looking for Hartson once again. His total record, 7 goals in 5 games against Dundee United. The former West Ham and Coventry and Wimbledon, Luton and Arsenal striker, the Welsh international. Rain still coming down. Sutton playing slightly deeper, enjoyed his forward roving role at the weekend and got 2 goals. Agat. Good challenge on him. Charlie Miller, I wonder if he's ever going to fulfil the potential that he had as a young player in his Rangers days. He won this competition in 1996, I seem to remember. Stretching and just away. Rangers' connection with Dundee United, of course, increased with the arrival of Billy Dodds, who captains the Tayside Terrors. McIntyre now, top scorer at the club after the recent move from to Rangers of Thompson. Loughlin. And back to Mark Wilson, Scottish youth captain. Only 18 years of age. He's had a strong season despite Dundee United's perils. Jim Loughlin has captained the side in the absence of Danny Griffin, who's still out after picking up a back injury against Rangers back in September. Agat, Sutton forward. Henrik Larsson gives chase. 33 goals in 33 games this season. And that was a bit of a hefty one. It's Paul Lambert who's down. He's back in the side tonight. Didn't play against Partick at the weekend. McIntyre's challenge.
It's not something that Dundee United want to be doing too much of, giving free kicks in a position fairly wide where Celtic can get the ball into the box. Certainly have the advantage height-wise.
An early caution, I think it was, for McIntyre. Didn't see the yellow card brandished, but the book has gone back into the pocket of referee Stuart Dougal. A man who brooks no nonsense. He once sent off Zinedine Zidane and Edgar Davids in a game. Fifth yellow card of the season for Jim McIntyre. Started his career in England at Bristol City. Played 1 game at Ashton Gate. Pouring rain here at Hampden. Celtic look for Hartson. More clearance has given Celtic the first corner of the game.
Well, you see the conditions already playing their part. Belting it down here at Hampden. 1 or 2 players find it difficult to keep their feet.
First touch then for Jamie Smith in that Scotland squad for the game against Ireland next week. Handball. Got the offender.
bit of hand, a little bit of chest there from Didier Gant. But the ball skidding on. And Andy Walker was saying that players quite like that. It really is pretty severe out there. Touch has to be good. I think for Dundee United, they need to try and play the game as much as they can behind that back three of Celtic. Get the midfield players to play the ball through.
Celtic's 33rd semi-final in this competition. Dundee United's 15th. They've won 5 of them. Dodds is forward and calling for it. Agat. Slipped neatly down the line by Lambert. It's a good run forward by Lennon, also just back in the Celtic side. Neil Lennon, he had knee problems, he had hamstring problems as well. Returned at the weekend. Lawson. Ulrich Lawson away. The Dane signed from Hibs last summer, Danish under-21. Martin O'Neill, 150 games in charge, 5 League Cup finals in England as player or manager, 1-2 as a player with Forest, 1-2 as a manager with Leicester.
It will be unthinkable for Martin O'Neill and Celtic not to win this game tonight, particularly with Rangers already sitting there waiting in the final.
6-1 on with some bookies to win this. You can get 14-1 on Dundee United. Jim Loughlin. And a touch then for Alan Combe, the goalkeeper. Played his first game of the season against Motherwell at the weekend and was dismissed. And a lot of people thought that Paul Gallagher would come back into the side. Bertie Vokes has announced his concern that one of his international squad members has been dropped, although Ian McCall says it's much of a muchness.
A lot of play in the midfield area. Charlie Miller there, keeping tight on Neil Lennon. Not giving anybody room or space to play.
You can send us your comments tonight. Text the word 5, followed by your opinion, to the number 81125. Fairly frantic opening 8 minutes, Trevor.
Yeah, I'm looking for obviously Dundee United to try and get a grip of the game as much as they can. Billy Dodds there, bags of experience. If they can get the ball up to his feet, he can hold it, bring other players into play. But I do think it's the pace of Jim McIntyre that could be useful to Dundee United, particularly with these conditions. The big centre-backs of Celtic might just find it a bit tricky in these conditions to turn.
Lawson will take the throw-in for Celtic, I would imagine. Oba Balde is there on the edge of the penalty if he wants him, and Falgeren is further across. Smith down the line. Dodds up in the air. Huge experience. 26 times for his country, Billy Dodds. And took over the captaincy back at Tannadice from Craig Easton. Rangers already through. It'll be a 12th Old Firm derby final in this particular competition. Edinburgh-born Coombe clears away and looks for McIntyre.
I think with these conditions that Celtic won't hesitate just to lump the ball forward. They've got enough numbers up there.
Oh, this is Larsson. Chance. And a smart save in these conditions, low down by Alan Coombe, although I don't think Henrik Larsson really struck it well.
No, didn't connect with it as well as he could have done. But it's one of those nights, defenders have to be decisive. They have to clear the lines. If you're going to give half chances to Henrik Larsson, you're going to get punished eventually.
Coombe, smart stop. Does he have a point to prove? Lennon was pushed. Easton the offender. Back to Lennon. Long overdue a goal. It'll be his first in 50 matches if he scores tonight. Sutton, well, that's a ragged challenge on him, really. Unnecessary. Cheap free kick to give away.
Yeah, Craig Easton never favourite there to get the ball. Found himself on the wrong side of Chris Sutton.
Larson with it. Balde is forward. He's got goal side and just slipped away. The referee's given. What a goal kick.
And the ball's come in. Trying to pick out Bobo Barley once again.
That's a good decision by the referee, because that's deflected off Barley.
Yeah, he's seen that very quickly, the referee, full credit to him. He could have possibly given the foul against Bobo Barley with the infringement on Jim Loughlin. There seemed to be that. But he's a big customer. He's a brute of a player, Bobo Barley.
Good challenge by Loughlin in there, former Scotland under-21 captain. Also had a little spell in the south. He went to Barnsley for a brief period on loan, and I'm not too sure if he actually played for the first team at Oakwell. This is Balde, Guinea international, born in Marseille in France. Lennon, Larson, Lawson, Dodds closes. Has he given the free kick for Dodds' challenge?
Yeah,
I think it was an uncontrolled challenge.
Just looked a little bit reckless from Billy Dodds. I think he got the ball, no question about that. That's why he's a bit annoyed about it, of course. He's certainly got a foot on it. It's slightly untidy. Stuart Dougal didn't like it too much.
That's a repeat of the '98 CIS final, won by Celtic 3-0. This is McIntyre, great movement to his left-hand side, and that's a good ball away. And a fine challenge as well. Heron gobbled up the ground to get across there on young Patterson.
That's good from Dundee United. Jim Patterson making up the ground on the left-hand side. That's going to give Celtic some problems, something to think about. Dundee United can use some width in their play. Hopefully use it a bit better than that than we saw from Jim McIntyre there.
A combination between the two of them. Look at Patterson there galloping away on the left-hand side. Cleared, fit to play. In this, he was injured in training last week. And there's a man who allegedly has injury problems himself, Varga. Dodds with the layoff. Varga again, Lennon. Lambert forward, good flick on by Larson. Dug out of the back once again by the 18-year-old Mark Wilson. Easton, another free kick given away.
Well, Dundee United just need to be a little bit careful. We lost a player in Ian McCall's first game on Saturday. I'm sure he wouldn't want that tonight as well.
The only survivor of that '98 final against Celtic, Easton. We're out by McCracken. Only 21. Two youngsters there together. Plenty of potential perhaps for Ian McCall to turn things around. Here's the red Adair of Scottish football management. He goes into the trouble spots, doesn't he? Dodds. Lemon got the foot in. Lawson forward. And Miller scored on Saturday. Miller had his injury problems afterwards. Agat, then to his right-hand side. Neil Lennon is one. This is Lambert. And that's confident goalkeeping by Coe.
Defences like that. Dundee United's central defenders will be delighted to see Alan Coombe come out there. Prepared to get his hands dirty there. Going across players and clutching the ball. Takes the pressure really off the defending side.
Suspicion of a handball against Wilson. Would have been unlucky, I think. If he had an away. Now Loughlin. John Hartson missed the Partick game with a knee injury. Lambert. And the Scotland-Ireland squad. Stuart Duff. Back to Mark Wilson again. He's in a variety of positions this season for Dundee United in their troubles. 7 defeats in their last 12 games. Celtic, of course, unbeaten in 8, 93 goals this season. 3 points behind Rangers at the top of the table. The Old Firm game on March the 8th is now Saturday lunchtime because Celtic may well have to play a UEFA Cup quarter-final on the Tuesday, so there's no question of it going to the Sunday, but it's going to be a mighty march for them. Agat. Addison's in his way, so to Easton, this is Lennon. Lawson. Big Bobo Balde. Scored in the Scottish Cup final last season. He just came back from a knee injury, if my memory serves me correctly. Looks for Larsson. Lovely glancing header. The Agat. Henrik Larsson. Cross was blocked. It's Derek Lilly. Leeds fans might remember him. And spells at Bury and Oxford as well. How's the pitch playing, Trevor?
Well, it's a bit sticky out there, there's no doubt. The range just seems to have faded off somewhat. But both sides just finding difficult to get a pattern of play. You'd expect it to come easier for Celtic. But, Ian McCall's got his team really working hard against Celtic, making it difficult as they possibly can. Certainly a lot of the play is happening in the Dundee United half.
Martin O'Neill, who was very surprised at the departure, actually, of Paul Hegarty last week. The Celtic on the attack. Oh. It came in the end off McIntyre, I think. He was on the shoulder of John Hartson. Martin O'Neill phoned Hegarty after his dismissal. Genuinely surprised. Jamie Smith with the corner kick straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
Alan Coombe trying to get his team out of his penalty area as soon as possible. Was looking to release the ball. Not on the same wavelength as the rest of the Dundee United players. Only Billy Dodds seemed to be scampering into position.
Celtic looking for their 100th victory in all competitions against Dundee United. It's the 4th time they've met in the semi-final of this competition. 2 wins to Celtic. They were beaten in 1984, 1 I think it was on aggregate. The last competition defeat in this competition, I should say, was in August 1988. Helps out Lennon to throw in Dundee United's way. They've lost 10 cup ties in a row, including a couple of semi-finals and a final against Celtic. Mighty task for them. They've dug in these opening 20 minutes. It's goalless. They're doing a good job of frustrating Celtic.
I think that was always the game plan for Dundee United, just to go out, frustrate Celtic as much as they can, and they certainly have accomplished that. Now, can they turn the screw a little bit now with themselves and make some headway?
Agat, seen a lot of the ball in these opening 20 minutes into Sutton. Hartson there as well, big and strong. Away by Jim Loughlin. Now Miller sees Patterson. Easton is given it away, but handball Jim McBride, the assistant referee, gives it.
Well, it certainly looked like went off his thigh and then hit his arm. I don't think Paul Lambert can have too many queries about that one. The referee seemed to get it right, along with the assistant.
Dodds for Dundee United. Need up to score tonight. The boos from the Celtic fans, of course. Lambert has time. Looks for Hartson. Wilson. Wonders what the new Dundee United manager's making of it all. He's an animated character, chewing frantically down there. Those early days at Clydebank, you know, they used to travel around the team in a blue minibus. They used to call it the Blue Bomber, and times were so hard they used to have to park the bus on a hill because they couldn't get it started on the flat. There he is at Hampden in a CIS Insurance semi-final. Good luck to him. He's one of the brightest young managers in the Scottish game. Aga, Lennon and Baldock. Dundee United are quite happy for Celtic to play in this middle third, aren't they? Henrik Larsson, though, they've got a chance here with Smith to get the cross in. Away by Loughlin. There's a little push there. No. Lilly for Dundee United. Shrugs off the challenge, Duff, and Lilly wins a free kick himself.
Well, I'll relieve a bit of pressure there on Dundee United. It was Henrik Larsson, Jamie Smith. First time that combination's really worked in the game. Indeed, the first time we've seen Jamie Smith really in any advanced position. When he put a ball in, it was a good one. But, Dundee United dealt with it okay.
This is Dodds. Scored a hat-trick on his first debut for Dundee United many years ago, and scored on his returning debut against Kilmarnock, Billy Dodds. Blocked by McIntyre, had to stretch. And back by Loughlin. That's a big header forward. Now Lennon. Miller. And Wilson. A little space for McIntyre to find Patterson. Magath's there with him. Just took the sting off the cross there. With Didier Agathe from Reunion in the Indian Ocean.
Didier Agathe is one of the quickest players, well, probably the quickest player in Scotland. Everybody's got an idea of how he plays now. He tries to use his pace as much as he possibly can.
John Hartson. Celtic have not been able to assert their dominance on this semi-final. The winners of this, of course, play Rangers here in the final. Hampden, Sunday the 16th of March, 3 o'clock kickoff. It's live right here on 5. CIS Insurance Cup final. Martin O'Neill's first trophy as manager of Celtic, ahead of the treble. Sutton played a major part, though. He was sent off in the final against Kilmarnock 2 years ago. Larsson gives chase, had to stretch, couldn't get there.
Celtic not finding it easy. Really struggling to get their game together. Martin O'Neill, he won't be too concerned, it's still early days. But likes of Chris Sutton have not been able to find much room to play in. And maybe come down to a set piece. Somebody like Bobo Bali can show his influence, his aerial power. Certainly no fluency about Celtic yet.
Loughlin for Dundee United. He's enjoying himself. Hudson now for Celtic. Larsson, Agat. Again, he's got space down there. Not a great final ball in from the right there, have they, Celtic? This time Larsson looks for Hartson. Hartson to Sutton, cleared away. Larsson from range. Well, he scored 190 goals in 239 games for Celtic, so you can forgive him one or two.
Well, I've seen him score from there before, even with his left peg. But it's not a frequent event. I think Dundee United like to keep him that distance from goal as often as they can. One of the things that I have noticed in the game, when Didier Agat has got into forward positions, he's not been able to get down the flank and get crosses in. All the crosses seem to be coming from fairly deep. And of course Hartson and Chris Sutton coming late, can't really get onto anything when it's coming from deep. So Jim Patterson, particularly for Dundee United, doing a good job on Didier Agat.
Lawson gives away the free kick and he's not got back. This is Duff with the cross. Lilly arrived, away by Balde. That was a great chance for Dundee United. Patterson in the box, Agat just got back at him. And real anxiety at the back for Celtic, who switched off there momentarily.
Two great opportunities for Dundee United. Duff there, just using his pace to get there. Lilly just missing it out on the near post. Jim McIntyre at the far post. Full credit to Bobo Balde.
Patterson in off the left-hand side. Miller in hard. Celtic were just rocked a little bit. But now they break forward. This is Agat. Just kept in play by Larsson. Hartson making a move to the left of your picture there. Lambert follows up. This is Sutton deep for Celtic. Game beginning now to pick up pace. Stretching, McCracken got it away. Now Miller. Looks for Lilly, whose long goal drought now extending towards a third month. His last came in this competition against Livingston away, 2-0 victory. McIntyre turns, Dodds there to his left-hand side. Challenged by Agat. Easton following it up. Good spell here by Dundee United. Patterson with a cross. In towards Lilly and just taken off his head once again. It was Lawson who cleared it away. And Celtic are rocking here.
Well, this has been the most impressive part of the game, not only for Dundee United, but even as far as Celtic is concerned, attacking-wise. Most pressure we've had from any one team in the game. And Ulrich Lawson bravely going there just to clear away from the head of Derek Lilly.
Short corner. Back to Miller. Prod with the left foot. Wilson. Oh dear. And in the great football videos on technique, I don't think you'll probably see that one again. The Arabs supporting Dundee United. About 1,500 of them had bought tickets before today. There was a great spurt of interest after the appointment of Ian McCall. Great noise from the fans who call themselves the Arabs. Legend has it, in the bad winter at the start of the 60s, they heaped loads of sand on the Tallows pitch. I'm not too sure whether that's true, whether the nickname comes from that. It's a mud heap of a pitch in places, let alone a beach. Thumped forward by David McCracken, the 21-year-old. Now Duff, also 21. And the current under-21 international setup as well. Miller. And a drop back in there to fill a hole. This is Dodds to Lilly. A really good spell here for Dundee United. Lilly. Offside. I've already played Celtic 3 times this season. I've lost all 3 games, conceding 9 goals. Can that man change things around? Magnus Edman more cleared away, hasn't conceded a goal in 340 minutes of football now. Lily jumped into Lennon.
Dundee United players certainly not leaving any challenge free for Celtic to dictate. And Derek Lilly there, making sure it was uncomfortable for Neil Lennon. And that's happening all over the field, in fact. Every 50-50's been met square on.
Hartson awaits. Him off the defender, I think. Just wide. Larsson once again. The presence of Hartson created the problems. Welsh international square.
Yeah, it's
what was that?
You see Celtic, this happens a lot with Celtic. John Hartson's the one that they normally pick out. And Henrik Larsson is always looking for that, the knockback. Inevitably, John Hartson gets his head to things, and inevitably it's Henrik Larsson who puts the ball in the net.
He was criticised late on in his English career at West Ham, I seem to remember, for putting on weight, Henrik Larsson, or John Hart, I should say. Slim was back to form with Celtic and scoring goals again.
Well, without doubt, John Hartson has found his goal-scoring touch with Celtic, and a lot of the problems that he was having whilst he was up here is because Martin O'Neill was reluctant to play the three strikers in the same team, Sutton, Hartson and Lawson. But now he's managed to accommodate it because that man, Chris Sutton, is so adaptable. He can play at centre-back, midfield, behind the front two, or as a striker, and Martin O'Neill certainly had his value out of him.
This is Sutton. Mind you, if John Hartson's Celtic's fat boy Slim, Trevor, who's his Zoe Ball, I wonder? Now, should be cleared away. Ooh, mistake by Valgaeren. Smith, who hasn't really got into the game on the left-hand side yet. Massive week for him in that Scotland squad.
He's been pegged back by Stuart Duff, really on the right-hand side for Dundee United, and Jamie Smith should be just trying to put that pressure on him, force him back towards the Dundee United goal.
Free kick. A nudge by Easton on Sutton. It's 4 free kicks given away, I think, by Craig Easton. He's going to have to watch a little bit. Fouls conceded by Dundee United in the opening 34 minutes. 5 the other way. Balde forward. It wasn't aimed at him, it was aimed at Larsson. A good spring as well. He's not the tallest, is he, Henrik Larsson? 5'9".
No, his timing is excellent, though. You do see him out jumping bigger and stronger players on a regular basis. And it's literally that he gets up early enough and he can hang up in there as well. Scores a fair amount of goals with his head.
He'll benefit as well from giving up international football in the autumn of his career. He's only, what is he, 31 now. This is Smith. Can he have a run here against Duff? It's good defending again. Duff forward to Lily. Down the left-hand side. Oh, well, those two watch on there. Bobby Petter and Guppy there as well, I think we saw, didn't we? The former Leicester City man. Both out of the side. Bobby Petter hasn't featured since November, I think it is. And Steve Guppy. Did 20 games this season. Not featuring at the moment. Sutton. Larsson looks for, and again, a little bit of a slip there by Patterson. Are you disappointed, Trevor, with it? the quality in from that right-hand side from Celtic's point of view? Because he's seen a lot of possession.
Yeah, he's threatened so many times to push the ball past Jim Patterson. And Jim Patterson's played him very well, as I said. He's pushed him back in field. Didier Gatz's strength is to go down the outside and get balls in, and he does it on a regular basis. But tonight, Jim Patterson's pushing him where he wants to put him, and Celtic really haven't had the benefit of any balls in there from the right-hand side. Certainly none that are anywhere near the danger area, near that byline.
Bobo Balde. Lawson calmly back to Headman, who's keeping out to Rab Douglas at the moment, although Douglas is in the Scottish squad to play Ireland. So is Paul Gallagher, the Dundee United substitute goalkeeper. Douglas has missed the last 6 games for Celtic. Boos ring out from the Dundee United fans to the left-hand side. Celtic are attacking their end. Balde in the box and Hart's in there, and Larson, Sutton. Agat far side of the penalty area. Balde's there. Sutton couldn't quite get a touch. Dodds for Dundee United. And straight into Neil Lennon. Big games coming up for Celtic with Stuttgart in the UEFA Cup. Bit of a problem with that. They've only got 5,700 tickets for the Gottlieb Dean Stadium, and holds 54,000. And there's a suspicion that Celtic fans are going to be at the wrong end of the ground. There's a caution for Lambert. I think UEFA need to examine that situation for the UEFA Cup tie, because it could be problematic, as this was here.
Well, Paul Lambert just coming in for the challenge here, just a little bit late. Stuart Dougal has counted up a series of small offences really from Paul Lambert, which has accumulated in the yellow card.
Which I would imagine means that if Craig Easton commits a foul in the next 5 minutes, he'll go in as well. There he is. Plenty of time here now for Mark Wilson. 0-0. 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Dundee United will have one eye on the half-time break, I'm sure. Don't want to undo the good work that they've certainly done in the first half. Kept Celtic at bay as much as possible. Just about carved out, I would say, the best chances of this first half.
Wilson again, this Hartson ambles forward. I think he was looking for Duff. Here is Duff. Lilly. Miller. Oh, it's deflected very nearly into the path of Billy Dodds.
There was definite spark about Dundee United now. Charlie Miller's becoming quite influential in the middle of the field. Just comes off Lennon and Lambert. Finds himself a little bit of space. The Dundee United forwards are enjoying that. Charlie Miller starting to make a few passes.
Made a couple of terrific passes in the final of this competition in '96 against Hearts. They won it 3-2. Gaza was at the height of his fame there. Didn't he have a scuffle with Ali McCoist in that game, his own teammate? I seem to remember. He sort of made a comic gesture at Ali, and he didn't take to it too kindly. Although it's probably only in jest.
Well, I've seen Charlie Miller have some very influential games for Rangers in his time, and Dundee United are starting to get that from him tonight.
Alder. Lilly. Oh, it's bounced kindly for him. Dodds. Back to Lilly. Just being shepherded and guarded. Celtic have locked that up tight. Lilly's won it back with a fair challenge, says the referee. This is Duff. Easton. Challenge is flying in there. 4 minutes to go. Miller to Duff. Poor clearance away. Miller chips it back forward. He's looking for McIntyre. And the Celtic fans unhappy here. Got to produce from there. Hartson. It was a heavy touch. He still managed to get his crossing. And there are boos ringing out of Hampden.
Well, it's Dundee United who have been a little bit on top in the last few minutes. And they do look quite a threat when they get around the 18-yard box of Celtic. And there's a few nerves are jangling amongst the Celtic fans.
0-0 in the CIS Insurance Cup semi-final between Celtic and Dundee United. Larson, beaten in the air by Wilson. Miller, only to Lennon. Fouled by Billy Dotts. Actually started his career, Billy Dodds, in London at Chelsea, played 2 or 3 games there. Lambert, cultured chip forward. Wilson got his head to it, Duff away. Lawson, Lambert again. The Dane Lawson. Was Sutton pushed? Well, I think David McCracken's a little bit unfortunate there.
Chris Sutton is so used to receiving the ball in those positions. He's looking for it all the time. You can see he's just got one eye on David McCracken. And to be honest, Chris Sutton was going nowhere. He was looking for the foul, and he got it. This is a dangerous position. All the big guns have gone forward.
Doesn't seem much in that at all to me, Trevor. This is Lennon with a free kick for Celtic. Flat and low and eased away. It's Easton who got it out. That's a good header. It was Lilly back in there, wasn't it? One back here by Agat. And Dundee United working so hard. This is real Ian McCall spirit already infused into the Dundee United side. It was described in the press up here today by Charlie Miller as a cross between Graham Souness and Walter Smith, the manager of Dundee United, who has featured in 2 of these cup finals for Rangers and for Dunfermline. Extra time or stoppage time will be played. Agat from Bobo Balde. Larsson's head down. Larsson couldn't make up the space. And clean sheet, something of a rarity for Dundee United this season. Kept 3. Patterson. Nearly comes to Lilly. Duff is forward there. Miller. Well, that's not a bad effort because it was a very awkward height.
But once again, it shows Dundee United prepared to break very, very quickly. McIntyre brings the ball in. But you see there's plenty tangerine shirts in the box. And when it fell to Charlie Miller, just a bit high. Difficult one to take.
He wants to restore Dundee United to the glory days. He wants pictures of the team that finished runners-up in the UEFA Cup and won the Scottish Cup in '94 and the League Cup in '80 and '81. Up on the wall, Premier Division in '83. Of Tannadice, and he'll be proud with his team in that first half, I think. John Hartson for Celtic has not had a great deal of opportunity.
Text the words vote Hartson, for example, to the number 81125.
The green and white hoop.